Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that this is a pivotal time in the history of our world because right now we're facing unprecedented epidemic when it comes to global warming. We believe that the nations of the world have to come together to solve this crisis, and global warming is the cataclysmic issue of our time. So we stand here as the international community with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund coming to you saying that we are going to offer investments of up to $10 billion in low-interest loans to create solar and green energy so that China will not have to burn coal anymore. Because right now, with their economy growing, they have to burn coal to be able to sustain their growth, which is needed during their industrial revolution. So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why we're going to do this. First is economic improvement for the people. Second is that this is going to decrease pollution. And third, how this is going to slow global warming, which is the crisis of our time. So first, let me give you a little introduction about the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. These organizations were set up with the international community, mainly the most industrialized, wealthy nations in the world, and they were set in mind to help out the third world countries, right? So we know in many countries in Africa, there have been low-interest loans that have been given to help these countries industrialize and come up to second or first world standards. And the goal of these organizations is if we have all this money through these world banks, and as I said, we can give low-interest loans and help out these communities. But our number 1 goal now is to stop global warming, which is why we're going to do this, to stop them. And when it comes to economics, as you guys know, supply meets demand. When we can increase supply by giving low-interest loans, it decreases the demand you need on coal. So we believe that this is a great idea to decrease the consumption and use of coal in China. So why specifically coal? Well, coal is the number 1 cause of global warming when it comes to production of energy in China, because they've been industrializing. They've been using tons and tons and tons of coal. As you saw during the Beijing Olympics, they had so much smog from burning coal that they had to literally close down all of their factories for days and weeks before the Olympics to make sure that they could close down the smog. But before I go on, I'll take questions.
You classified the money to help those who are in third world countries, but you classified China as a third world country.
No, but so that's what I was saying is that there are economists that have obviously been studying China lately because of their rise out of poverty. As we continue to help countries rise out of poverty, we think it's the goal of the international community to help the world. And so whether or not it's a third world or second world or almost first world, some of their big cities you could consider first world quality. Most of the society, though, still is agriculture, still is low income, and thankfully China's going towards free market policies that are more capitalistic, which are more allowing people to own businesses, allowing people to pursue their self-interest, which is why they're booming so well. So I don't think we need to focus the debate on that issue because the goal of the international community, which is what we're saying is the mechanism to do this, is to help people prosper, and we're doing that right now. So I've talked about the Industrial Revolution. Let me get into my main point about economic improvement for the people. Now, we've seen in other countries that have industrialized that technology helps people's lives better. So in America, when states or the federal government have offered tax credits, which is these low-interest loans, essentially do the same thing, right? When you essentially give a 1% loan to a Chinese farmer to have a $10,000 solar panel on his farm hut, and you're giving a 1% loan, nobody in the world can offer 1% loan on this kind of scale, but up to $10 billion. So when you do that kind of thing, the farmer then is able to take such a cheap discount on this and is able now to have power in this farm. So we think helping China, for one, because they're industrializing so well, we think is the perfect market to do this. And obviously beyond this, we could do it in Africa next. We could do it in other places, but we think this is the best case example. So economic improvement for people is what I'm talking about. That's my number 1 point, as I mentioned. And what this is going to do is allow increased innovation in this industry, right? So we know, like the Apple iPhone, right? It comes out and it's $800. But as it goes on, right, more supply is met with demand because the demand increases, and then obviously, the business tries to meet the demand, so they increase supply, and that's what's happening with this. When we put $10 billion for all of these Chinese solar power or small wind turbines, what have you. When we put all of this money into this, it's going to revolutionize the world when it comes to the green industry. And obviously, the end goal is less coal production, which I'll get to right now, which is pollution decreasing. So as I talked about the Beijing Olympics, we think this is a phenomenal opportunity because as an international community, as you all know, the Kyoto Protocol was signed in the late 1990s. Now what did that say? It said that the world who agreed to this, the United States and China and Japan, right, it was in Japan, and all the other industrialized world signed on to this, saying that we're going to reduce the amount of coal emission, or CO2 emissions that we produce into the environment. So we say in the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank that this is an appropriate use because we're helping achieve this goal and alleviating poverty. Now, specifically, the United States went through a green revolution, or excuse me, through an industrial revolution where we emitted coal into the air, where we had dirty cities. And we say now as a society, because we're so developed, cognitively, because we understand economics so well, we think this is the most appropriate thing to do because we can literally say, if we put $10 billion here, it is absolutely going to decrease the use of coal in this country. We absolutely think that this is a great thing to decrease pollution because we know that $10 billion at the minimum is going to allow these people to stop using coal and to get out of poverty and stop polluting. So that leads me to my last point, is that this will decrease global warming. Now we know that global warming is the crisis of our time. We know that if we don't cut our coal emissions from all vehicles as well and everything else that all the other pollution that we do, but coal specifically because we burn so much of it and trying to get the majority of its electricity from coal, as the United States does, unfortunately, but here in America, because of our tax credits at the federal and state level, the prices are coming down, which is why you see solar everywhere. Now in China, we think the World Bank is going to do this and alleviate poverty, as I mentioned in our great plan. So we are going to stand here today to decrease global warming. We think this is a phenomenal opportunity to do that. So we're doing economic improvement for the people. Pollution is going to decrease, and we're going to stop global warming, and we are proud to propose this resolution. Thank you so much.